And security officials are sounding the alarm. Department of Homeland Security officials are sounding the alarm about national security, with the department shut down for more than a month now. Some airports are feeling the impacts, with TSA workers calling out as they go another week without a paycheck.
Most of us have maxed out our credit cards. We've taken loans out. A lot of us were just starting to recover from our last shutdown.
More than 11% of TSA officers called out sick from their shifts Monday alone. That's roughly 3,200 officers. The TSA says this shutdown has led to the highest wait times in the agency's history. Democrats are refusing to fund DHS over immigration enforcement. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is rejecting a Republican offer that cuts some ICE funding but leaves out policy changes Democrats want. Democrats fired back with a counteroffer today that was also rejected.
All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstones. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters is out there onto this life foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. Here's another one for you, which we all see it.
Pressure is building at airports nationwide, including here in Savannah, as TSA workers head into a third straight week without a paycheck. WJCL 22 News' Tia Maggio was at the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport, where some local officers say this is no longer just about work, it's about survival. According to local union members, there's more than 100 TSA workers right here in Savannah that are still showing up without pay. Now, that's not the case for some of the country's biggest airports, where TSA agents are quitting their jobs at large numbers. And while travelers here in Savannah haven't seen delays just yet, there's a growing concern that could change soon.
Quite frankly, officers are pissed off.
Day 39 of the partial government shutdown, and day 39 without a paycheck for TSA officers. At Savannah Hilton Head International Airport, everything looks normal. Short lines, on-time flights. But behind the scenes, union leaders with the American Federation of Government Employees, Local 554, say the strain is growing.
The eviction notices are coming in. I had an officer, car get repossessed. They still reported to work. And then got home and there was an eviction notice on the door. I have officers who are battling cancer who can't make those co-payments.
Union leaders say some officers are taking second jobs, even selling plasma just to get by.
They're selling plasma once or twice a week, working DoorDash, Uber Eats, Amazon Flex, whatever they can possibly do to try to make ends meet right now. And they're still coming to work.
Nationwide, over 400 TSA agents have quit since the partial shutdown. 37% of Atlanta's Jackson Hartsfield Airport staff have quit. This comes as federal resources are being sent to larger airports. But Savannah Mayor Vin Johnson says, not here.
We got this. Right now, because of the dedicated work of these individuals, we don't need them.
But if paychecks don't come soon, union leaders warn staffing could take a hit.
They're traveling at least an hour to get to work. So with the rising cost of gas and things like that, if this paycheck doesn't come in this coming weekend, I do suspect that will change here in Savannah.
Airport officials.
So as you can clearly hear that I'm laughing because of the so they're giving up blood. So this is something that somebody posted up. Project 2025 literally outlines the plan to privatize TSA, but they can't do that while TSA is unionized. They fund DHA. That's what they did. The Department of Health, Department of Homeland Security, to defund it. TSA agents miss paychecks, which is happening. People quit, and that was out of many videos that I've seen, saying that people are quitting. Now, this is a government job. Government jobs supposed to be like a golden ticket in society, and yet they can't even pay their own people. Amazing, right? Airport spirals. Step with emergency fixes. Suddenly, ICE shows up in airports as the privatized solution. So, problem, cause, solution. Is it cause or is it chaos? I believe it's chaos. So, the problem they set, and what was a major problem that they set up? The government shutdown. All the shit that was going on with ICE and people getting pissed off. So they're going to shut down the government. Now, I got to get the other video that I seen. This guy broke it down perfectly, which we all know everything is done purposely. And of course, there's always a freaking commercial. So I'm going to let him play some of the joint. Because everybody is not stupid. People are stupid, but they're not that stupid. But then there are stupid people out there. I seen something where TSA people was picking up, was it a woman? And she was getting arrested, and I read the comments. I'm thinking that people are supposed to be upset. Oh, that's what you get for not being illegal. I mean, that's what you get for being illegal. Like, damn, these people just don't get it. It doesn't matter what the fuck you are in this shithole. They're gunning for you.
Not get more obvious than this new strategy being deployed by Trump. He just took to True Social, writing, "Blame the Democrats for the airport's mess. They want our country to do badly. They want our country to fail. They broke the already signed bill because they want to take care of criminals who enter our country illegally rather than American citizens. Thank you to our great ICE patriots for helping. It makes a big difference. I may call up the National Guard for more help. President DJT." That it's now the Democrats' fault that TSA agents aren't being paid, are then calling out of work, resulting in massive 3, 4, 5 hour lines at the airports, which all is sure strange because just days ago, Trump said this.
They get a deal, Republicans and Democrats in the Senate, to fund all but enforcement operations of ICE, to get those TSA agents repaid and to open up the rest of the department. Did you say that?
Well, I don't want to comment until I see the deal, but as you know, they're negotiating a deal. I guess they're getting fairly close, but I think any deal they make, I'm pretty much not happy with it.
In fact, he reiterated that numerous times proudly.
We want to settle. We want to settle. And I told the people, don't settle. Don't settle. Because we have something bigger. Only settle if you get the Save America Act, voter ID, and so important, proof of citizenship, etc.
This guy is he is the agent of chaos. Like he is the cruel lord. He's everything that you could think of. He sows so much confusion. It's unbelievable. It could be dementia. It's just a whole. It's really spur of the Lord. The Lord's showing the world. All right, this guy is the embodiment of this land. They're not a schizo. He's like those people that constantly change their mind as they going and speaking. It's the most weirdest. I can't think of the name of it, but let me see if I get that scripture real quick, because I know it's gonna bother me. This guy's crazy, yo. It says, I'm not gonna say change mind, but just see, not James, unstable in all his ways. Well, that's that one is a good one too. Hold on, let me see if I can get that. James 1. And about 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, and that's Trump. That's Trump. I'm looking one in Proverbs, and it's not showing it. That's Trump right there. That's the commander in chief. And there's another video, brother, I put up. I guess it was a means, and the guys were breaking it down on how many times he changed his mind. Right? Much change is it? Slovakia. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm about to use the other one. Sometimes this thing, my sword is good, but let me see if I can find it. Can narrow it down better. Oh, given to change. No, is it given to change? It just shouldn't change. I'll do it the hard way. There it is. It says, Proverbs 24 and 21. My son, fear the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. So that's the commander in chief. He changes his mind. But there's a well, he does have dementia. And he does forget what the hell he be saying. So there's another one, so I can get it. Hopefully it's in this one. Slovakia. I'll be right back. Alright, here's the Cycle Bible. This guy's breaking it down.
President Trump told reporters he wanted a ceasefire with at 12:03 p.m. President Trump told reporters he wanted a ceasefire with Iran. At 12:05, he declared victory. At 12:07, he announced he was sending Marines. At 12:08, he said no boots on the ground. How did he do that in 60 seconds? At 12:11, he said he did not want a ceasefire. At 12:16, he declared victory again. At 12:17, he asked for a ceasefire. At 12:23, he told NATO they were cowards. At 12:29, he said Iran was begging for a ceasefire. At 12:31, he said everything was perfect. At 12:36, he said $500 oil was a good thing. At 12:37, he demanded Iran open the Hormuz. At 12:39, he said Hormuz was never closed. At 12:41, he said the U.S. was not at war with Iran. At 12,
Yeah, they need to enact that 25, the 25th Amendment, because this guy's out of his mind, yo. He's out of his mind. So go back to this real quick, because there's something else that he says. This is a parody show. This is truly entertainment.
Important proof of citizenship, etc. Thank you very much.
Whose idea was that? To put ice in the airport.
We're dealing really.
Whose idea was it?
Mine. That was mine. That was like the paperclip. You know the story of the paperclip? 182 years ago, a man discovered the paperclip. It was so simple. And everybody that looked at it say, why didn't I think of that? Ice was my idea. I called, first person I called was Tom Homan. I said, what do you think?
I'm just, don't be surprised if he disband a whole bunch of federal agencies and just make ICE to everything. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Shit, he might reshape the names. He might call it stormtroopers. Because when did that movie came out? Spaceball. Was it Spaceball? Yeah. And they had this song called Space Force or some shit like that. That's where he got the idea from. this guy's he's a shit show, bro.
He said, I think it's great. And I'm suggesting strongly to the Republican Party, don't make any deal on anything. The most important thing we can have is what's called the Save America Act. Don't make any deal on anything unless you include voter ID, and you have to be a citizen to vote. You have to show citizenship to vote. Very easy to do. It's very insulting when they say people can't do it because they don't know how to do it. Anybody that can't do it, I think it's a very insulting thing to say. The Democrats are fully to blame with the struggle the great American public is going through at the airports. They're going through a big struggle right now.
Which is ironically funny because the cost of fuel now is going to be skyrocketed because the unsurety of what's going on because of that attack. So these agents of chaos are destroying their own infrastructure, and he's a perfect guy to do it. He got plenty of bankruptcies, lost a lot of businesses, and we all know by now America's not is not a country per se. Is a corporation. All right, that's why you have the term of CEO, chief executive officer, which you can find that in any company. And when the elites wanted this shit to go down, the finishing touch, they put this guy into office. And look at all the crazy shit that he's doing within. This is his second year, and look at all the shit. Second year of his second term, yo. This guy is just crazy. But that's the spur of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Because what we're seeing right now is clearly the systematically destruction of America. At any moment now, at any second, the economy could crash. All hell is about to break loose. We already see that there's going to be an energy crisis. The other countries already have plans in motion for that. They made an energy lockdown, all right, because of the moves that this guy made. All right, he disrupted the fragile peace that the world had, proving that he is an agent of chaos. He's an agent of Satan. He's not the Antichrist himself. Anybody who's trying to, people like to say stuff, but he's an agent of chaos in a high position. Okay, he's of the lesser illuminated ones with the cult of personality. He's a high level witch. That's why he emphasized words when he want to push something positive instead of making a speech. He would just keep emphasizing a particular word. That's great. That's great. Look how great he is. Or look at this. Or look how terrible this person is. The worst type of person that like he emphasizes words. He plays with people's emotions. He has a cult following. So he has that cult of personality that they desire. You had Zelensky. Zelensky was an actor. He was an actor and slash a sodomite. All right, and they made him president. And it shows you the foolishness, the stupidity that runs this world and who runs it. And his job, and like everybody else's job before him, to make people's lives miserable. I'm going to let her play a little bit.
Just put ICE in charge, and they're helping TSA, the agents, and they're working together so far very well.
And Donald Trump's own party.
Might I add, that was Monday. So how you going to get the feedback? Oh, they're working very well.
Echoed that point, saying that but for Trump, there would have been a deal.
Senator Cruz and I came up with.
And here, this is what proves that this guy is solely an agent of chaos. All right, right here. This right here.
The plan. We said, look, it's a two-step process. The Democrats have offered to open up everything but ICE. Ted and I said, okay, let's accept their offer. And then at the same time, we would offer a bill for reconciliation where we don't need any Democratic votes to do whatever we wanted to do with ICE. And that way we're out of the shutdown and DHS is back open. We submitted that. Senator Bethune submitted that to President Trump. As is his right, he said no deals with the Democrats. It would have worked. We could have had TSA paid by the end of the week, but the president said no deal.
Even Punchbowl News reported that John Goodman approached Trump with the deal. Quote, but Trump said no, according to multiple sources. The president wants Republicans to stay in D.C. and keep fighting with Democrats over DHS funding and the Save America Act. the GOP's voter ID and proof of citizenship bill. Not only that, Trump warned he'd publicly slam Senate Republicans if they left town for the upcoming recess. Trump also said he'd invite all the GOP senators and their families for Easter dinner at the White House. Some Republicans took that as a threat, not a reward. So Trump took the blame.
So this is truly the age of the chaos. This is truly a division within the nation because they don't know what the hell they're doing. But when he said it was last year in June, when Israel was attacking Iran, and because he wanted to stop it, he wanted a quick victory, right? He wanted a quicker victory with this shit that is just this stunt that they pull. But the Lord, like, nah, you ain't getting out of this quagmire. So he wanted a quick victory. He said, and Israel did something. They attacked Iran on a ceasefire, and he said both sides don't know what the fuck they're doing. Well, he doesn't have a clue what the hell he's doing. But that is the Lord. People, we understand. The people starting to pick up things. This is the Lord's doing. The Lord is putting these things in this man's mind. He can't handle it. Proverbs 21:1, it says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. So the Lord is the one that's making this man make these stupid moves. Why the Lord doing that for? Because he's making a point, all right, which is clear as day to the rest of us, that he's making his return. And he chose this low life, this failed individual in life that everything been handed down to him to make these foolish moves for the destruction of America. It's quite simple, actually. Daniel 4:17. 17? Yeah, 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth to whosoever he will, and set up over it the bases of men. And with these bases of men are going to push the world, has pushed the world to World War III, starting with the small hat wearing motherfuckers. All right? They have pushed the world to the brink of his own destruction. How you like that? You really, really got to think about it. They're literally pushing everybody to the brink of their own demise, their own destruction. And in their mind, all they do is tearing out the system that they was a part of to bring in a new system. And that new system, which is the RFID microchip. But in order to make that mandatory and make it effective, that's the word I should use more. To make it more effective, they have to build the system. They got to build the system. Once the system is built, then you have power over the people. You got to keep them in the dark. You got to keep them foolish. You got to keep them confused. You got to keep them worrying about this and that. Keep them going. Keep their minds racing. All right. Don't give them a moment of tranquility. Don't let them think, because if they think too quick, they're fucked. This is how the game is rigged. All right. This is the only resistance that is left. But they have the masses of the minds of the people. It was built up on the lies for all their life. And now it's coming to a head. Now the enemy has fucking light years ahead of the people, and the people just falling for it. So now you have TSA people quitting or working several other jobs, still got to go to work and not get paid. While the ICE agents, which was funny because that's what the video, I'm not gonna play that part, but the lady in the video basically said she go to work at 2:15 in the morning, something like that. And then she looks at the ICE agents, who's getting paid, by the way, and they're not getting paid. What does that do? That causes more friction. That causes more division. And that's all it's doing. And in their mind, and they swelled up mind, they believe they control the narrative. They control everything. And I realizing this is the greatest setup in world history. Because you're doing something that's not very wise that many other rulers would fear to do. And that's pissed off the people. Amos 9 and is it 9? Amos the 9th chapter? I haven't read it in a while. It said 9 and 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper. And we all know a reaper is the one that benefits. All right. While people out there sweating and doing whatever it takes to maintain what they have, people are reaping from that. Going back to, I always bring it up because it seems like we're going to another lockdown. Who knows when? But during that time, the bills didn't stop. The banks didn't stop asking for money. The people that owe the banks didn't stop. All right. Matter of fact, they were crying more, but the banks didn't hear them. They went deaf ear. So they built up a system of endless debt, and if no matter what the situation is, there's no forgiveness for it. You have to pay back. That's why it says what Proverbs 22:7 says, "The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender." And you heard the guy said, he said TSA workers have to borrow money in order to survive. And they're not going to get no reprieve because during the pandemic, a lot of landlords lost their businesses because of the shutdown. And you got to understand how it was working. It was stores, but the main people that got affected was homeowners. That would be considered a small business. They lost more. Okay, because people couldn't pay that back. So you live in a society, a debt-based society, where it is a trap. And there's no reprieve, there's no mercy. Okay? And people now losing that little that they have in this fucked up world. Ecclesiastes 12:3 says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble," which is the economist, and the economist would tell you straight up, the bubble's about to pop. The energy crisis is a huge thing. It's not a small thing. Oh, one of the one of the bros put up a video. Not put up a video. Put it in chat, whatever. And I understand the joke. The joke was, it's true. It's like you can't listen to, like, the prime example. It was new music, but he said you can't listen to hip hop these days anymore. And then the guy was pretending to be rapping, but he's listening. You know how those videos are. So the guy that's pretending to be rapping is the guy that's playing the part. He's playing like somebody just listening. He's listening to his stuff, but it's supposed to be a monitor. And then the rap is all about materialistic things and shit like that. And he said when hip hop or rap in these times, something like that, when it doesn't match, it pisses you off because people are suffering. And it kind of hit me today, like a song like Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri. And they had a song called Money Ain't a Thing. Even back then, that was 98. Yeah, I remember that. That was in the Hard Knock Life Volume 2. Even back then, I was like, yo, the fuck? Who, Like money ain't a thing. What the fuck you mean by that? It is a thing. You know, and you can't listen to songs like that because people out there suffering. So the economist is giving a warning, telling people like, look, this thing is about to pop. This bubble is about to go. There's clearly in a recession. Really, it's been a great depression. It's been a depression for a long time, but they keep postponing it. So they're postponing it, the public name of what everybody's going through right now. And what everybody's going through collectively is a depression. But they don't want to say those words because they say, oh, it's the economy. What proves it that the economy is, the numbers are inflated. The stock market is not telling the truth. Gold, silver, even when it was skyrocketing, is proving that the dollar is weak. And all of a sudden, it got saved. That stunt that he pulled was a Monday morning that they in talks with Iran, and the world said it. He's just manipulating the market. So all this shit is just like everything else in this world. It's fake. It's phony. It's baloney. It's fraudulent. It's fugazi. All right. And the economists, the people that's supposed to be know what's going, they know exactly what's going on, and they're trembling because the chain reaction of what's about to take place once this thing happens, the economy will crash. All right. And if you don't have to, oh, that's another thing. TSA, the TSA shit, that was just heightened after 9/11. So them saying that basically they don't need TSA right now, especially after these idiots bombed, is a clear-cut sign of an inside job that is about to take place. It may not be one, it may be several incidents. Okay, that's why you have ISIS, his private army. All right. It says, and the strong man shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease. And the grinding is ceasing. There's a work. That's going to be a chain reaction. I got to hold on, Slakia. Let me show you how bad it is. I believe it's the same video. Oh, yeah, this is it. This is it. Check this out.
Are getting longer this morning at some of America's biggest airports. The president is blaming Democrats for not funding the Department of Homeland Security, saying on Monday ICE will be going to airports to help our wonderful TSA agents who have
Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, the line is started from outside the airport. That shit is unheard of. That shit is started from outside the airport, yo. So traveling is restricted. People are not going to be willing to travel via airport because of the stupidity of this particular leader. And he's just following the script. Everything he does get the script. He knows what's going to be affected by what. They just don't give a fuck.
on the job.
And this is nothing but a distraction, by the way.
But Democrats have offered to pay TSA officers in every part of Homeland Security.
Look at this, yo. I never seen anything like this. Is crazy, yo. This is the worst shit.
The president of the union that represents TSA workers says in
and they said people. They say people are. The airport is telling people be there 4 hours early. Can you imagine that shit? Yo, you standing outside?
Help. Writing that putting untrained personnel at security checkpoints does not fill a gap, it creates one.
Now you've got these ICE officers.
That was a woman. She's basically the head of the union of TSA, talking about how they're not getting, they're not getting paid, and these worthless people are just standing there doing nothing. But so the grinding is ceasing. When people can't be able to travel, gas prices are going up. All right, jobs are going to lay more people off. There's no job growth at all for several months. So everybody be like, oh, you need to get a job. They ain't out. It's not out there. They're saying it straight up. There's no job growth because AI. Artificial intelligence is taking over the most minute jobs out there. A lot of corporations are cutting back of the of paying people. Okay, greed has really corrupted this society. This shit is boiling over. Oh, wait till the summer comes. Holy shit! Last year there was no money worth. Summertime, hardly anybody was spending any bread because there was no job growth. How much? 2 years in a row? Three? Yo, it's gonna be bad because there are few, and those that look at the windows be darkened. Meaning what? There's no future. The future is gone. The only thing that's holding it up is still the delusion that's around, and that shit is crumbling daily by the second. So the Lord has done a marvelous work of systematically tearing this place apart because He put the best agent out there. He put the best character to tear this place apart. And our prayers are being heard. America's out of here. All right. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, which is ironic because remember he said he was going to cut down on government jobs, and they did that. That's why the other government shutdown, took place. Was it last year around November, October, November? Yeah, it was October to November, and before that, it was when they did the Deutsche situation. And did he promise everybody he's gonna give them $5,000 per person? This place is done, man. This place is fucking done. You just enjoy. We gotta obviously do what we gotta do. Enjoy. Don't be stupid. All right, because the Lord is systematically tearing this place apart. Yeah, how about Shem Yahshai systematically tearing this mother apart? Okay, and you could see it clear as day what's happening. So our hopes and dreams is not supposed to be on this place. Okay, our hopes and dreams is supposed to be on the kingdom to come. There will be life after America. I believe the scripture I'm thinking is Hebrews 13 and 17. No, it's 14. No, it's 14. For here have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come. So Paul had this written for a reason. With all this hopes and that's going on in Babylon, it's clear as day. This place is done. All right. But we, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, so much are biblical Israelites, there's life after this world. And once we understand that, collect as a nation, this place is not standing. It says Jeremiah 5 and 8 says Babylon is suddenly fallen. You could clearly see right now it's falling apart. And we coming in, winter is leaving us when we're going into the spring. Now during this time, more jobs are supposed to be available, and the roads is supposed to be more smoother. So I don't know how the rest of the country is, but after winter, there's a shitload of potholes in New York City. And if there's no job, if money's not circulating, yeah, the road's gonna be bad. But which is a clear-cut sign of what? Corrosion. Was it Isaiah 14 chapter about the worms under thee, which is talking about corrosion. So we could clearly see with our own eyes that Babylon the Great is falling. Physically, it's fallen. Mentally, spiritually, it's been felt. Right? It's been felt. And everything's manifesting into the physical world. It says, and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. Balm is medicine. So what was the medicine? A few times the thing that was called a bailout. A bailout plan to get them out of, which is nothing but printing out more money. Or they print out more money to get them out of a situation, supposed situation, just to delay the inevitable. You had what, within 3 months? Was it 3 months? They said they already went spending 1 trillion. So there's no healing for this place. So if so be she may be healed. So if there was a way to get out of this situation, if there was uh, any group of wise individuals to get them out of this situation, they would have worked their minds, okay? But it's not happening because it was meant to be taken, it's meant to be destroyed. We would have healed Babylon, and who really want to maintain this fairy tale? It's not Esau. I mean, there's the Edomites that don't know, they stupid. Yeah, they try to maintain, bring back America back. No, it's you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. If you had the opportunity to help out, to get out of this jam, and let's go back to some sort of normalcy, that's what your spirit would tell you to do. But the Lord's like, there ain't no healing for this place. All right, but she is not healed. Forsake her. There's few diseases out there. I always bring up the concept of a shipborne fire. When a shipborne fire takes place, now it is not born if it happens, depending on the fire. So you got, make a long story short, they call it Delta, which is the metal. Like right now, the Navy is at war. If a missile hits a Navy ship and it still gets burnt up, and there's still, and the fire go throughout the ship, there's no agent in the ship that's going to be able to douse that fire. So they'll say you have to jettison it, meaning you got to jump overboard. So just like the house that has molds in it, if there's too much molds, you got to leave the house. All right, there's no healing to it, so you got to forsake it. That's what the scripture says. Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart. This is not your rest. This place is surely polluted. So something that's polluted, that's disease infested, that has uncontrollable fire, you're just gonna have to cut your losses. And they're saying more than ever, most people are leaving America more than ever. The prophecy is fulfilled. It says, let us go everyone to his own country. So if people come from a different land, they're heading back to that land. No matter what the situation was over here, they're gonna like, I'd rather be over there than to deal with this shit. And you even have people that was born in America for many years. I mean, not many years, many generations, that flee into other countries for a better opportunity. It's not, the thrill is gone at BB King. So the thrill is gone. All right. So the Lord Ben said, forsake us. But physically, we can't go nowhere because we got to see this place go down. But the mindset, and God, we see it is dying. It says, for her judgment reach unto heaven and is lifted up. Oh, I just thought about that. With all the shameful acts and the shameful dealings that's coming out the woodworks, is lifted up. The whole Epstein thing. It is a meme that's going around basically saying Trump is doing so bad in the war that he's gonna have to use Epstein to distract the war. So people are making jokes up light of it, but it's true. He's gonna need a physical outing. He's gonna need something to distract the minds of the people. They fear the people. They really do, because they don't have the system fully implemented right now. So everything that's of Esau in his past is lifting up right now, even to the skies. And the result of that is what? The destruction of America. All right. So with that being said, hey, we are at the end of this place, man. And we almost out of here. We almost out of here. Shalom.